I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. At this time, we'll have Pastor James Archer to come up and deliver us a prayer, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Bow your heads with me, if you will. Holy and Heavenly Father, our God, come acknowledging that you are the supreme and sovereign being of the universe. That you rule, you reign, and you have worldwide regency. As we come, we thank you, Lord God, for all who are gathered in this meeting. We thank you for our educators, our principals, our teachers, our staff. Thank you for the leadership of our school. We thank you, Lord God, for every member of our school board. As we come, God, we thank you for all the accomplishments. And we pray, God, that you will continue to bless each of us with the spirit of unity, that we can strive in partnership to fulfill all of the endeavors that have been set, all the goals and objectives that they're trying to reach before the school year comes to an end. Again, we just thank you, Lord God, for all that you have done, all that you are doing, and all that you will do, because all that we do is for your glory. It is in Christ's name we pray, and all under the sound of my voice said amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Before we go to the adoption of the agenda, would you give us a moment of silence for Miss Irene Cook, Miss Jimmy Mullins, and Miss Joyce Ann Fisher? May we have a moment of silence, please? Amen.
Amen.
On the adoption of the agenda, there is something first of all, the mask mandate has been lifted. Everybody knows that. But what I would like to show you is 3 parts. 4 days before we did our 5-day sweep of all the buildings, what the numbers were, after the 5 days, and then what the numbers are now since we've had the option on the mask mandate. So prior to the 4 days before, as you see on the screen right here, if we can go down just a little bit, please. Probably can't read it from the that's looking on TV land, but we had a total of positive cases of 198. We had 498 quarantined. Those that were vaccinated was 113, and we had 17 that were masked. So we'll go to the next one. This is before our 5-day sweep. Then Chad asked us to do a 5-day sweep, and with the 5-day sweep, after that, we only had 64 positive cases, quarantine only 92, and see 30 and 7. And after 2 weeks and 5-day shutdown, this is the part that really looks good. Thanks to everybody that adhered to the mask policy. You see we only have 18 positive cases, 15 quarantine, 9 and 3. So I appreciate everything that you've done, because all we were trying to do is make sure everybody stayed in school, because that is the objective, is to keep the kids in school so they can learn. With that, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Mr. Secretary?
Board members, you have before you the minutes for our regular scheduled meeting on January 27th, our special call meeting on January 31st, and our special call meeting on February 11th. Are there calling for any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes presented? Seeing as none, I make a motion that we accept all 3 sets of minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Mr. Superintendent?
I don't have anything. I'm just kidding.
Motion is approved.
This is the one time a year that we get to come together and tell our board how wonderful they are. We appreciate all their hard work. They are not compensated even remotely on the same planet with the amount of work and value that they bring to the district. They love our kids, and we love them. And what we've asked our board to do every year is we divide our schools up and we rotate those. That way we can make sure that some of the Vicksburg guys wind up with Warren Central gear and the transverse of that. But we have a presentation for each of you tonight. And David was the guy that was going to manage this, and he just walked smooth out of the boardroom. So I assume he's coming back.
He's right here.
Okay. All right.
Am I up?
Yes, you're up.
As David is coming up, I have no excuse not to wear this.
None.
Zero. It is long sleeve. It is my size. So I will wear it. Thank you. But go ahead, David. It's all yours.
All right. Well, I'm just going to call in the order that we have them listed here, and whoever is representing can make their presentation. We have some presentations online, and we have some videos also that we're going to be showing. So it's going to be a fun night tonight.
It is.
First of all, we have the Academy of Innovation, and they're going to make a presentation to their board member.
We have Mr. Stearns, I believe we have a video that Kilroy was going to play.
There we go.
Hello, school board members,
My name is Maddie Smith, and I'm a 7th grade student at AOI.
and I am Ariel Wilson, an 8th grader at AOI.
To our Vicksburg Warren School District school board members,
Thank you. Thank you for your constant advocacy and support,
thank you for believing in the exciting things we can accomplish.
and giving us the ability to have this new building and everything else we could possibly need to be successful.
Your time and commitment is so appreciated, and we will be forever grateful.
Thank you.
And we have a little small happy for you on the table. It's a short sleeve, but we can change the size if we need to. It's the wrong size. I can't do the sleeves, but we can change the size if we need to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sturgis. Thank the entire board for everything y'all do for us, and thanks for our wonderful new house over there across the street. So, thank y'all for that.
It sure is a pretty one.
Thank you, Dr. McKellar. All right, Beechwood Elementary. Mr. Adams.
First they have the video.
Okay.
Happy School Board Appreciation Week! Beechwood love you!
Honor school board members, gentlemen, Ms. Bullard, I can't say any better than our children, but thank y'all for everything you do. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being steadfast. Thank you for taking care of the kids. I appreciate everything you've done. It's an honor to serve with you. Happy School Board Appreciation Week.
Thanks, Mr. Adams.
Next, we have Bovina Elementary.
Save and send Gmail emails as PDF files.
Mr. Stevens, thank you for making our dreams become reality. Bovina Elementary appreciates all you have done for us.
You're so cute.
Redwood Elementary is next.
No more.
Skip the other bit.
Thank you.
You can go, buddy. Go ahead.
We're honoring Mr. Pratt, our board member, and like all the rest of the board members, we appreciate the job that you do so much for our kids and our community and for us. And these two wonderful leaders from Redwood are going to take it over. So y'all, right here, go ahead.
My name is Calvin, and my name is Addie. I go to Beechwood Elementary. Thank you, Mr. Pratt, for being nice to people that are really nice.
That was so great. Because that's happened a lot.
It was Pratt, thank you for being a school board member.
It's so nice to have kids in the building.
It is.
I got you a gift.
Good job, Ryan.
Thank you so much.
That needs to be y'all's motto.
Thanks for being nice to people that are mad. That is awesome.
That is great.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, Beaumont Avenue.
Want to say thanks to all the board members. Our building, our new building, and our renovations are nice, so we want to thank you for that. Our person is Kimball. The bag we have over there has way too much maroon in it. It's not red or white, but it's way too much maroon for me. So,
I'm good.
thank you for all you do.
Thank you too.
Okay, CTE, Dr. James, I think is online.
He's gonna try, if he can. He asked me to thank everybody for.
Oh,
there he is.
There he is. He said he might have technical difficulties.
Yeah, I stay way out in the county, so, yeah, I'm gonna have to, forgive my 4-year-old that you hear in the background, Miss Sally. But Miss Sally, we'd like to thank you for everything you've done. If I could sing, I would sing to you, but I don't sing that good. But on behalf of CTE, we'd like to thank you for all that you do. I hope you like the gifts that Ms. Pickford will be giving to you. We thought it was, we think it fits your need. So thank you all once again.
Thank you.
Dana Road Elementary.
I'm Tracy from Dana Road Elementary, and we appreciate everything you do, from riding the buses and feeding the kids to checking on us from time to time and keeping us in line. So, thank you for everything you do for us. We got a little happy over there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crowe. River City.
Well, so it's not Tammy, but I'm going to be her for tonight. She may wish she hadn't asked me to do this. So our board member is Kimball Slayton, and I want to personally thank him for a little project he helped RCEC with to make a 9/11 video happen. He spent way more hours than he needed to, and he did it mostly with a smile on his face, I think. And we really, really appreciate it. It might be, if you haven't seen it, go to RCDC's page and scroll back to 9/11. It's pretty special on lots of levels. But also, I'm a school nurse, for those of you who don't know me, so I'm going to take a minute to just put a plug in to all of our school board members. I feel like I grew up hearing this at my house, that you should always put children first. That should be every decision that you make. That should be the preface of it. A real wise fellow taught me that, and I try to remember it every day. Dr. McGee reminds me of it when I forget. But I feel like that y'all went above and beyond putting children first when you trailblazed something that nobody in the state had done by seeing a need and filling it and putting an RN in every school building.
That's right.
So for all the mistakes you make, and we all make them daily, that is one thing that I feel like y'all got right. And I want to personally invite each and every one of you to come and spend a day with me or one of our other 15 nurses in our school district. It's something I never ever thought I would see when I was hired as the second nurse in our district 23 years ago. So thanks. And we have you a bunch of snacks that you probably won't eat while you're watching Mississippi State baseball, but you can just think of us as we envisioned you there on your couch with Susan watching the game and enjoying some baseball snacks.
Thank you, Greg.
And I was smiling during that project while you were there.
Sherman Avenue is next.
I will be presenting virtually on behalf of Sherman Avenue Elementary faculty, staff, and students. We want to show Mr. Stevens our sincere appreciation. Our motto here at Sherman Avenue is one team, one dream, nothing but the best. We appreciate him for being a part of that dream, making it successful, being a part of our team, and we wish him nothing but the best. Thank you.
South Park Elementary.
Okay, I'm spoken for South Park.
Okay.
They wanted to give their sincere thank you for everything you've done, Mr. Pratt, and the whole team. And I feel like, personally, that the team that I work with, and that includes my superintendents and y'all, it's just been a wonderful experience since I've been up here. And I see the dedication from all of y'all. And everybody doesn't realize how many hours that y'all put in, not just the hours you sit up here once a month, the other hours that y'all use to the good of the district. And they really appreciate you, and I do.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Vicksburg High School is next.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Our school board member is Mr. Sturgis. Mr. Sturgis, we would like to thank you for your leadership and your commitment and leading us into the future. We thank you for your hard work for our community. And the Vicksburg High School family would like to thank you for all that you've done for us.
Thank you.
Vicksburg Intermediate.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Happy School Board Member Appreciation Month to all of our board members and Ms. Sally Bullard on behalf of Vicksburg Intermediate School. One of your happies that we would like to present to you is the white orchid. It represents hope, clarity, and unity. And we would like to thank you for your leadership and your commitment, not only to the students and the faculty and staff of Vicksburg Intermediate School, but to all of us in the Vicksburg-Warren School District. And we thank you for your hope, your clarity, and your unity that you bring to the board and to this district.
Thank you.
Vicksburg Junior High.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to thank each and every one of you for your dedication and your sacrifice for our kids. That they really do appreciate what they're able to do now. They're able to go back to school and be with friends. And that sacrifice is felt around. Our honoree tonight is Coach Stevens. I go way back with Coach, all the way back to the early 80s. I can remember going to Temple Stadium and watching them practice, and him being a part of it, hearing stories of my dad and Coach Stevens and everything going back, and being our FCA representative in high school, and some of the endearing stories that I still share with young people today that's past our generations. And that type of care and dedication is not lost on anybody at Vicksburg Junior High School. And to Coach Stevens and the rest, I want to tell you that we love you and that we thank you greatly.
Love you, Bob.
Warren Central High School.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Our representative that we're honoring tonight is Mr. Kimball Slayton. Kimball, we have some gifts over here from you that come from our school store. That either our students made themselves or designed themselves.
Wow.
So we have several goodies in there. As a principal, sometimes I think our students don't understand totally what the school board does for them. But I just left the first track meet in Warren County in about 12 years. Which our our girls 4x800 relay team won the first event on our track, which was great.
Awesome.
But they sure do get to see the fruits of y'all's labor, so it does not go unnoticed, and I appreciate every one of y'all. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Warren Central Intermediate.
Hello? Oh, gotta come closer. Good afternoon. I'm Tanya McGee, principal of Warren Central Intermediate, and behind me, I have some of our extended learning students. Introduce yourself.
My name is Mason.
My name is Royce.
My name is Trixie.
Wait. Hi. On behalf of the Warren Central Intermediate faculty and staff, we would like to present to you Mr. Pratt, a token of our appreciation. Thank you for your time, hard work, and dedication. Once again, thank you. Wait.
Warren Central Junior High.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Our person we are honoring tonight is Mr. Sturgis, but on behalf of Warren Central Junior High, we would like to say thank you to all of you for the hard work and dedication that you put in. I think someone said it earlier that we understand that this is a thankless job, and like the children said, you get to talk to the people who are angry all the time. I can't say it any better than they did. But for Mr. Sturgis, I would, on behalf of Warren Jr., we would like to thank you for all of the hard work that you put in, for the impromptu visits sometimes, when you come over just to check on us, and also from a personal standpoint, for helping us not to have tunnel vision. We get in our building and we just hit it and we go. Mr. Sturgis comes in and he sees the entire picture. So he stops me from time to time and makes me see, okay, did you consider this? Did you consider that? Have you seen this? And I'm like, no, where is it? So always keeping us focused and keeping us going. We do have you happy over here. A basket of goodies that I've sold from a very reliable source. There's some things that you do like, one of our local vendors. So I'm taking her at her word that she knows you better than I do. So we will, again, would like to say thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Warrenton Elementary.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
This is Bullard on behalf of Untitled Elementary's students, staff, and parents. We want to say thank you for all that you do for the students of this community.
Thanks.
That's all the schools.
And the last appreciation comes from us. You've got a card at your table, the happy inside of it from the central office staff. And what people don't understand is schoolwork's hard. Being a board member is very difficult on a regular year. Some of the things that this school board has done, not only have you taken care of staff when other districts didn't, you found ways to make sure that they got their compensation. We rustled over some days in a specific way to ensure that our people are able to eat. Speaking of eating, you sent home buses to students during the summer. As far as I know, we were the first district to do that. You have always made those decisions that were difficult to make in times where nobody else was doing that. One of the things that you also did is y'all bit the bullet on a technology commitment so early on that when we did have to give a second best way of instruction, we were able to do that. Your vision in that has been paramount in the success that our students have continued to see in the most difficult time it is to be a kid, a teacher, a principal, and definitely a board member. And I appreciate Eric stealing a handful of my thunder, but that's one of the things that I did absolutely want to say. One of the fruits of the labor, and I thought it was absolutely pertinent that it occurred this month. We had our first track meet hosted in this district in 12 years, and that was debatable now. There were people that said it was longer, but the last official one we had was 12 years ago. There was 2 baseball games. I don't know why, this upsets me. This is baseball. 2 baseball games that occurred on Vicksburg High School's field. Showers Field hosted 2 home baseball games for the first time in 25 years. 25 years. Everybody got 2 wins, by the way. So in that, the magnitude of what you've done oftentimes gets overshadowed with the knacks that people want to bring that just are not indicative of the majority of the work that you do. And we appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you as a superintendent. I have superintendents all over the state of Mississippi are turning over left and right because of the types of boards they have to work for. And that is not our community. You love the kids. You do put them first, sometimes at your own detriment. And I don't want you to ever be dissuaded by comments that don't understand the work that you do. And I do. I know all the nooks and crannies and all the late nights and all the tough decisions you have to have in your businesses, in the grocery store, in church. I don't know that I've ever asked a dentist to work on my teeth at the church, but I know it's very difficult as a board member to ever escape that responsibility. So thank you from the bottom of our heart. And another thing that we would like to do at this point to demonstrate the fact that the direction and the vision that you've shown is paying off. We are celebrating our highest graduation rate that we have recorded at 88%. To put this in perspective, in 2009 it was 51%. In 2013-14 you set a goal to increase that graduation rate by 20%. We've actually done that by 30% at this point, and that is due to the laser focus relevance that you're providing through the instruction. Our board set that vision. Now our feet made it happen.
Right there.
You have the most wonderful administrative staff and teachers on the entire planet. We are so thankful for them, but we could not do a single thing that has been done without the support of this board. In addition to that, I would like to acknowledge a few. I think people out there forget and they want to throw data around. The last reliable data we had was in 2019. So we do have an organization, it's called PREPS, and they do in-depth research. And they take data sets, and what they did is they took the voluntary assessment that we took last year. It wasn't even required by the state of Mississippi. But we took it seriously, and we took it because we wanted to know where our students were. We wanted to know in making plans moving forward. So what they did is they did an analysis of improved scores since the last data set that we had that was reliable, which was in 2019. And guess what? During the middle of the most difficult time our teachers had to teach, we had schools that scored higher than they did back when it was regular school. So that is incredible. And I have in front of me several schools, and I'm going to call you all out. If you don't mind, line up, and we're going to hand these out. Naisha, if you'll snap off a few shots. The first one, which is the Program of Research and Evaluation for Public Schools. That's what PREPS stands for, Mississippi PREPS. Third grade Math Growth Award goes to Warrenton Elementary School in the Vicksburg Warren School District. In addition, we have Vicksburg Intermediate School who got a 5th grade ELA Growth Award, and that's English. She also got a 5th grade Math Growth Award. Redwood Elementary School, would you come on up? Redwood Elementary School had 5th grade Math Award, Growth Award. They also had a 6th grade ELA Growth Award. Aberlorn Avenue had a 6th grade English Language Growth Award. Beechwood Elementary, even though Mr. Adams is on the horn over there, not in person, they had a 6th grade ELA Growth Award. And this one, to me, they're all incredible, don't get me wrong, but this one only had 31 high schools in the state of Mississippi that received this award. Warren Central High School received an ACT Growth Award. In the midst of a pandemic, we increased our performance on the ACT. They didn't give us one for the graduation rate award, but I will tell you, we are sporting the highest graduation rate we've ever had, which matches the state average and exceeds the national average. And the highest one that I believe our district's ever seen in a single high school at Vicksburg High School. So I'm going to pass these down to who they belong to, and that's not you. I'll tell you what, take yours and pass it. He didn't bring his glasses. You're making it hard on me. I am. It's your work, baby. If y'all would like to come down and take a photo, you're more than welcome to, President. Anybody? Look, I hear it. Everywhere I go now.
Everybody that I work for, coach with, all right, and recruited.
Hard-working teachers, hard-working kids, hard-working principals. Right, let's skin. Yes. Thank y'all so much.
Now, Keisha, she was, I have to tap myself on the shoulder. She was an All-American at Alcorn State University.
Nice. She's good at raising kids, too. I love them children. So, having some other things that I did, I think you have a copy of that, maybe you don't. We did a tour, it was wonderful. Actually spawned another tour that's coming up Tuesday, I believe, Christy, with Ergon. So that's going to be a good opportunity for us to share with another potential business partner. Once they did their tour, they're like, oh my goodness, we got to be a part of this. And I was like, oh my goodness, I got a form you need to fill out. So we will be talking to their executive team this upcoming Tuesday also. We had a Ford Next Generation visit. I think just about all of you that could, came by and poked your head in and spent a little time with us there. It was a wonderful meeting. We have some good news, which will be announced in March, which I guess I'll officially announce then, but it was led by a portion of the training. The subsequent days was by MDE. The new Office of Innovation was here. And I think the most awesome quote is, as we were going through the indicators in the National Academy rubric, he said that he's traveled to all the districts all across the state of Mississippi, and he hasn't seen a single school district doing externships. He hasn't seen anybody doing academies like we are. We are an example that should be replicated throughout the state, and he's going to be, and his name's David Kress. He's new over there. So the other thing we were able to do is met with Accelerate Mississippi, which was a new part of the government that's been created. It's an office that builds workforce development. They will be coming on a tour on March the 8th. Any of you that are in town would like to join in, just go to our website and click on there. First few tours were a little limited. They're picking back up, so we have a good many people that are coming through. We welcome anybody that would like to see anything. Come on in. We had a legislative luncheon, which was great because there was about 25 legislators that were there for that period of time. NCEE sponsored that, which is the National Center for Educational Excellence. And they gave us a pretty big footprint in the presentation there. We were able to share what we were doing in Vicksburg to help kind of inform some of the gaps that we have or needs that we have across the state from a legislative standpoint, and to try to change the mindset around how we're viewing education. We don't need to be leaving employers out of the conversation. So, and last we went to the MSBA conference. That's not last, actually, it's next to last. We went to the MSBA conference and learned a lot there. It was some great times. They had a lot of feedback from students, which I thought was a little bit different than what they had normally done. And the last thing we have, you'll be getting more information up on this. We signed a letter of support with this, and there'll be an official memorandum coming from Alcorn State University that they have something called TRIO, which is a talent search, and they're using their federal ESSER dollars to be able to provide tutoring, ACT help, ACT work keys help, SAT help, career counseling alongside of tutoring for all of our junior high up. And that is going to be something that we look forward to continuing our partnership with them, because they were accepted in the grant that we wanted to be a part, or their letter of support with that. So that will conclude me, I believe.
Mr. President, could I add something real quick?
Yes, sir.
I think we'd be remiss if we didn't thank the people that are really important. Y'all thank us every year, but the people that make our job easy, over the 11 years that I've been on the board, we've seen a lot of controversies. I mean, every year we have to have a cheerleading controversy, right?
At least one.
At least one. No one's ever upset about the physics teacher, but that's another whole story. But, you know, we've accomplished a lot. I mean, if you think about it. You mentioned our graduation rate. You mentioned the bond. The Academy of Innovation didn't exist 11 years ago.
Correct.
Okay. Our academies didn't list 11 years ago. And then announce what you're going to make.
College.
Yes. We have two of the high schools, the top and the third highest high schools that earn dual credits. That's college credits earned by high school students that cost parents how much?
We saved about $9 million worth of tuition.
$9 million worth of tuition.
Savings for the parents.
But this all wouldn't be possible if we didn't have a great team. Now, us board members, we can all agree that we don't always agree or see things, but the one thing you can say about this board is that every one of us care about children.
That's right.
The one thing you can say about all the administrators is every one of y'all love our children. Our parents, our students, the faculty, all the other administrators, they are why we are working together to make these changes. And I applaud you for making the comment of not listening to the naysayers, because everyone wants to tear you down. Anyone want to walk in these shoes for a week, I'll let you. But you might give them back real quick. But it wouldn't be as easy as it is now if it weren't for the great team that we have working for the district. And I want to personally thank all of y'all.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. President, it's all your floor now.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we'll have the bond update.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Mark.
Everybody's in a good mood.
I know you bring it.
What are you asking for?
All right, what do you want to, how much you want us to spend now?
Yeah. I'll keep it brief. You have the report in front of you. Pretty much just like last month, most of the projects are in some state of closeout, either still working punch list items and reviewing closeout documents. The two things of interest I would point out, number one, at Vicksburg Athletics, you may have noticed we had a potential water leak. We were chasing for a while. They did find it, got it repaired, and actually the area that it was in, concrete will be poured back tomorrow morning. So it'll be back the way it should be. Get that cleaned up. The other thing real quickly on Warren Central, they are making progress, again hampered by weather, but they do have the gym addition. Concrete's been poured. The block work's going really well. Plumbing's roughed in. And I'm hoping next week you'll start seeing bar joists and a roof go up on that. So we're getting there, making progress.
Question, have we found anything out on the auditorium at Vicksburg High?
You have to help me out with that.
The floor?
The floor, I gave you those two options. I hadn't acted on either one.
Were we waiting on cost or something? What were we waiting on?
There was one, the painting option was, I believe, $18,000 and some change, and the VCT option was 32, I believe.
That sounds right.
But I hadn't gone any further with either one of those.
What about the drain at the band hall that's covered?
That's been taken care of. I do have 3 action items that I'd like to bring before you tonight, all related to Warren Central. And I don't know, Greg, if we should do them one by one or as a group. I'll just run
fine with the group if that's
okay.
Good with the board.
I'll run through all 3 of them. The first 2 had to deal with kind of a side issue, got us looking at something on the fixed bleachers in the new gym area. And we realized that the handrails by code now require vertical pickets every 4 inches. They have to have pickets. Right now it was designed as the, one top rail, one intermediate rail. Got to have the pickets. That's an added cost of $6,531.36.
Question, please.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me for interrupting. When you designed this, did this option just came up, or has it been on the books for a while with the pickets?
The code.
The code issue's been there.
So why did we pick it up at first?
I couldn't answer that question.
Whose fault is it?
It was a design oversight.
Design
But it's an omission, so it is something you would have
oversight.
paid for in the beginning, had it been included.
It's kind of like the water that was running in the, where the gym is right now. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Mark, 6531, what?
And 36 cents.
Okay.
Second item, also related to the bleachers, now you'll be happy about this one, Mr. Sturgis. This isn't a design issue as well. In looking at this handrail thing, an issue also came up about the 4-foot walkway. The long story short is, we need to increase the thickness of the concrete a half an inch and change the deck to a composite decking. The decking that you already had was already on site, so this is something that should be reimbursed by the design team to the district. But I need the board's approval on a change order to get the contractor to do the work.
Explain what this is again, but not following.
If you're walking up the bleacher, up to the new bleacher, you go up some steps, and there's a 4-foot aisleway. It's a concrete sitting on a metal deck. Question came up, we realized to start questioning, is that design really gonna work? I can't imagine enough people standing up there jumping, could it be a little loose? And sure enough, it was a deflection issue. And to correct it, we added a half inch of concrete and changed the decking.
So we approved the change order, we just don't know what the credit will be?
It's $7,139, and that would have to be reimbursed by the design team.
Okay, so that's a credit.
Well, I think what they've done in the past is do something on a future billing, just deduct that amount, and I'll make sure that happens.
Let me say, I'm not trying to be harsh here. Please, don't take it that way, please. But this is not you all's first rodeo, right? Well, doing the bleachers, okay.
And then the last one is on the basketball goals that we brought forth last month. On further discussion, it was determined that probably the electric hoist on the goals for the court itself was necessary, and so you can get a credit of $8,341.22.
Okay, so we're not getting hoist, we already have?
You are on the
We just don't
practice
need the
goals,
extra
not on the
goals.
actual court goals.
Because we're not bringing those up and down.
Right.
So those would be electric?
Those will be fixed.
Oh, they're gonna remain?
On the court, the main court goals will be fixed. The practice goals are still electric.
Okay.
But Mark, are they fixed or they're manual?
Fixed.
Okay,
So
so
is
they're
there not-
rigid, they'll never go up and down?
There's never a reason to bring them up and down for anything you ever use the gym for? I just ask.
Not according to the folks I spoke with.
Brian, I've been out of gyms for almost 4 years now.
You never
I've never
did.
seen a floor goal go up.
Okay.
And we had mentioned in the last minutes that...
We're doing the same thing at Vicksburg.
Same thing at Vicksburg.
And he's revising the pricing to do that now. Well, as a matter of fact, your existing practice goals are already electric at the high school. The court ones are fixed, so it'd be the same condition. So he's revising that pricing to just replace the 8 goals.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 6 goals.
And Kimball had mentioned, it's a little box that we were talking about. I mentioned it, but he gave the correct name because I don't know.
The time,
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why that's important, because we had just come, the 4 of us had just, well, Coach Stevens, Kimball, and anyway, we were there. And we talked to Mississippi High School Activity Association. Right now, they're saying it's not going to happen in the next year or 2, but it will be coming. The only problem they're facing now is trying to find somebody. This is not your problem. Trying to find somebody to work it. So once they get that at hand, which is be about 3 or 4 years from now, that's going to be perfect for us, because they say that's about a $10,000 cost. Once they, so you'll be getting a lot of more business out once that
They told
happens.
us too, we did check with the supplier, and those shot clocks will likely be wireless, remote. So we don't need additional control wiring for that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But we are getting a shot clock.
They're not hand cranked?
You moving with your
Sundown?
Sundown. So the net, if everything was approved, would be a net add of $5,329.14.
Okay, do we need to act on A first? Or were you
Yeah,
gonna?
it sounds like you do need to separate those, because you're talking about credits on
One thing, the last
you
thing.
gotta, You got
Yeah, we can do it more.
Yeah.
All right, so the first one would be the addition of pickets to the handrails in the fixed seating area of the gym for an add of $6,531.36.
So I'm just gonna ask, I'm like Jim, I don't mean to be, but we paid to have it designed, and I don't know what the code is, but we hired someone who knew what the code is, but because they designed it not to code, we've gotta pay? Does that kind of rub you the wrong way?
That was pretty much my question. Yes, sir, to answer your question.
I'll make a motion that we approve the handrail picket option, item 2A1, the cost of $6,531.36.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. Are there any other questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Pose like sign.
Nay.
Motion is approved. A2.
Second item, for the fixed bleacher decking that we would add 1/2 inch concrete and the composite decking for an add of $7,139, and that I would take the action to get that reimbursed by the design team to the district.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept action item 2A2, the fixed bleacher decking in the amount of, the credit in the amount of $71.39.
It's an ad, but then
But it's gonna be
be reimbursed.
Okay, what she said. In the amount of
Mark's in charge of getting our
$7,139.
reimbursement.
All right.
And I'm on hold speaking.
Yes.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Everybody understands the motion?
Just a second.
Coach Stevens?
Thank you, Kevin.
Yes, ma'am. It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Pose like sign. Motion is approved.
All right, and then the last item is for the court goals at the gym, that we would take the credit for not doing the electrical work and a credit of $8,341.22.
All right, I'll go again. I'll make a motion that we accept 2A3, the court goal modifications in the credit amount of $8,341.22.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Pose like sign. Motion is approved.
And just
We
make
got
sure,
Bovina site work,
make
we
sure
don't
the
do something
backup.
with that?
I think that'll be good.
Because it's on our,
Make sure the backup has A3 on
We don't
there.
have it on here.
Because his report does not. I just want I know the minutes will have the motion, but I just want the backup to have
That's what I'm
the goals listed.
yeah, because ours also has the big.
Yes.
Yes.
Just Coach, do you need me to take any further action on the auditorium flooring, or?
Well, I guess we just have to come, because we need to do something with, Right now, it's not acceptable, the way it is right now.
So what options do we get? You mentioned we got several, I didn't.
Well, there was one you can do floor coating, like a paint type option. That will be a maintenance.
Every year.
Yes.
Okay.
It probably won't make it through the year without needing some attention. I mean, you'll live with it, but.
Yeah.
And then yes, sir.
On that, we have Vicksburg High principal and the superintendent get together and he will let us know what you all feel is the best for it and bring it back to us.
So what's the second option?
VCT.
VCT.
Oh. And what was the cost of?
It was like 32. I'll get the exact number for you.
We don't need a maintenance nightmare. I don't think.
No.
We need to put
Paint it
VCT.
every year, that it's got to be repainted.
We just need to do the
And we
VCT.
spent all that money on the.
Do we have the money to do it?
seats.
Do
That's
you have the money to do
ridiculous.
it? Either a general fund or out of contingency.
Have some input on that.
Do you want me to bring back where it's coming from budget request?
No, I'm just asking.
I mean, y'all got all kind of money.
Okay, so it's, Okay.
I mean, it just-
So
it
we
depends on what
can
we do.
cover the cost of this expenditure. It's a need,
We just need to know whether it's gonna come out of continuance of the bond funds, or are we gonna manage this in district with a building maintenance?
I think you tell us what we need to do.
Okay.
We have money in the district funds to do it, or if we need to use the bond funds to do it.
All
but-
of the changes we've been holding to the end because there's several items that have to be addressed within the bond funds, and we were holding all of those to the end to make sure, because we know there's going to be significant cost on the bovina site work, and we're not sure what that number is going to be.
So
I know
why
there's
don't-
been several requests if there's money left over of what we want to do.
Well, I know
My
this is-
recommendation would be to make sure that we've got enough funds to finish that. And if y'all want it done prior to that time, let's cover it out of district maintenance. And I would not paint anything, because
Oh, I don't want to pay anything.
it is not a good option. But y'all know I was mad as
So
anybody on the planet.
I'd like to
I saw
make a
that.
motion that we approve
Yeah,
the
I know you
VTC
were.
solution.
You know I was.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve the VTC solution, pending recommendation from you as to where it needs to be funded from.
Okay.
But we all do, it's going to needs to be done. We need
Well, it's
to-
got to be done in the summer anyway, because we're
It's
not
got,
pulling
it's
the
got to be
chairs
done
on
one way or the
you.
other, and so us kicking this can down the road, let's make the decision, and would you come back and advise the board how we're?
Mark's
Let me
trying to
ask
get your
this,
attention.
That price is from,
Oh,
some
yeah,
time
that's
ago. We
true.
probably need to have them revisit it
Okay.
again and,
That's true.
make sure now, I mean, time
Yeah, that
passed.
was back when
We could do something
I
next
had my
month.
second fit.
So you see my frustration here, we want to get this, I'm trying to make a decision, and we're, okay. Can we get an
Okay.
updated price?
Can you modify your option to give him a not to exceed? He can approve it based on a not to exceed of 32, and if it goes
It's not just
up.
your maintenance, I can approve it up to, what, 50?
Yeah.
Okay,
We can get quotes for it.
well, let's just say not to exceed $40,000.
Say go to 50.
Yeah. I'll tell me what you want to do. I'm
Some
gonna
say
get it
go
done.
to 50, right? So
Why don't we just ask for him to get the research and we can make a motion at
Next
next board
month,
meeting?
sounds good, because we're not gonna do it before the
Because
summer.
we don't have
anyway.
any real information.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to, we keep talking about things 20 times, I'm trying to make a decision so we can move on and never talk about it again. Okay, we'll talk about it again.
the seats that were damaged, where is that coming from?
You have replacement seats.
Bill's taken care of.
And the leak has been repaired.
I believe so, yes, sir.
Okay. Any other question? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Yes, ma'am.
President, do we need a vote on the vote, permission to do?
There was not a second.
Sidewalk?
No, ma'am, it died for like a second, so we good.
Wait a minute, for the bid for the
Yeah.
site work?
We bringing it
Oh,
back.
site work, she
This is
said site work.
Bovina.
I'm
Bovina
sorry.
site work.
I think that's.
That's,
Okay.
Briggs is gonna bring it up.
Yeah, we can take it up.
Okay. Okay, we good. I'm sorry, we were talking about something different.
I'm just making sure we can need a vote.
Okay.
We're now down to,
So scratch that one on the other day
Yes.
scratch that.
and add A for it just on the backup, so I can be happy about it.
Okay, on G1, if you will see that we need to change,
We hadn't done the,
have I missed
never
something?
mind.
Okay. On G1, we're with the changing of the meeting in May, and of course, we have graduation that last week. So we have either May the 19th or the week of graduation, and,
May the 19th sounds good.
sir,
19th works, that work?
I think that, yes, sir, I like that
Fine
date
with me.
too. I agree with you, sir.
But that's just the week before.
I make a motion that we approve the changing of our May regular scheduled board
Right.
meeting to May 19th.
Can I ask a question first? When are the award days for seniors and
Oh, yeah.
It's normally the first or second week of May.
Yeah, it's usually our senior.
Okay, that's right, go ahead.
I have a motion.
Yes, sir, there's a motion.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we move our May meeting to Thursday, May the 19th. Thursday, May the 19th. Are there any other questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Thank you.
Deb, call and remind me.
Yes. Ms. Lewis.
She's my reminder, her too.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Ms. Lewis.
For the financial report, the statement of cash flow, you'll find that the ending fund balance on the statement of revenue and expense does reconcile to the ending cash flow statement for January. We know that as of January, the estimated fund balance is $13.5 million. As I stated in the last board meeting, that we would have an influx of our ad valorem by this time, but actually the amount that came in for February will be recorded for the next board meeting. Okay. And it is substantial, so we're still in that projection phase, so it's what we wanted it to be, actually. Okay, for our Aberlorn Tax Collections, our January ad valorem total $3,546,069.35. This is lower than what we're used to at this time, but again, when you take both months for January and February, it's going to pan out, and we do find that we are a bit higher than we had projected. For our MAEP collections, we've received that appropriation, the $2,388,573, which is still the same that we've had and is constant throughout the fiscal 22 year. For our casino revenue, we have received the casino revenue on time. For January is $61,512.03. We have not received our casino revenue, being that this is a short month for February, so we have not had time to collect that to get the amount of that. From my understanding, we need an update on the audit. We are in full audit mode, FY 20 and 21 simultaneously. I've reached out to our new CPA firm for 20, and we're getting some things cleaned up before he's able to come in and audit us for the 20-year pickup on the 20-year. The 21 year as well, so we've been collecting for both years. We're in full audit mode, like I said, so that's all we know right now. So we're full steam ahead on that. Again, we have to do some cleanup for 20 before we can get him here. He wants us to clean up some of the things that's on the books for that conversion between Innovac and Munis. So once we do that, he's going to come in around mid-March, and he's going to be able to come in where the old auditor left off, and able to go ahead with our audit for 20.
Can we keep getting an update each month on that, please?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Ms. Lewis, one thing, if I may ask, on your statement of revenues and expenditures, I was just glancing over it, and I saw something that says public law and a VWSD grant. What? For the yes, ma'am.
17,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's because of ERDIC, the federal funds. It's federal funded through ERDIC. This is, I guess, the school district with the funds that we have lost through revenue and additional costs that impacted the present. That's why, and of course, the federal funds being non-taxable, that's why that money has been awarded to us. It's been on the books since FY19. Has not changed much, and it does not grow annually. So it's been there for quite a while.
Okay.
Quite some time.
And the other grant, this BCSBS grant?
Blue Cross Blue Shield grant.
Okay.
That's for a garden from Vicksburg High School.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got funded $20,000, so it's for a greenhouse, garden supplies, and soil.
Thank you.
It's so green over there. You got stuff growing inside, growing outside.
Okay. Do we have any other questions on the financial report?
Make a motion, we accept the financial report.
It's been moved and properly second that we accept the financial report. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I always do that.
Where are we?
I always roll my agendas.
Okay, we're down to the most important part here is the proposed consent agenda. Are there any items to be pulled? Seeing as there's none, I have a few.
Whoa!
2, 9, 10, and I promise they'll be real brief. 2, 9, 10, J1.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the consent agenda with the exceptions of I-2, I-9, I-10, and J1.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. On the accounts payable claim docket, well, I'm like Chad now, I can't see. I got my contacts on. They're supposed to have, oh, that makes it even worse.
They not
Okay, I just, Miss McInnes, let me just give that to you, ma'am. And all I need to know is, you can do it later, if that is monthly, with the red dots. Okay.
Can you see the red dots?
Yeah, it is. If it's monthly, or how do we just pay that fee right there? That's all I needed to know.
You gonna read it?
Please. I'd like to make a motion that we accept.
You want me to make that motion?
Please.
There you go. I'll make a motion.
Let you go pass it.
You want to vote on it too? I'll make a motion that we approve I-2.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. On I-9, and we discussed this a couple months or a month, or however long it's been. We've been in so many special call meetings, I can't remember. On the...
Paid you extra.
That was a good one. Special, oh, now you got me saying special. Supplemental staff for the Warren County Juvenile Detention Center is Miss Hay.
Hi.
Miss Hill.
Yes, sir.
I have a few questions, please.
Yes, sir.
On the norm, the max and the minimum amount of students, what you say is about 10 at the max, and then 2 or 3. Sometimes I know it fluctuates. I get that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's the average length of time they normally stay in there? 5 days, 3 days?
No, sometimes it can be 30 days and they can go up to 90 days.
But on the norm, we don't really have them staying in there 90 days.
No, every now and then we may have some.
And every now and then about 30 days. So normally it's a short stay
And
in
we
there.
serve multiple communities too.
Gotcha, right, okay. So we have, how many, do you know how many we have in there right now?
No, sorry, no,
Okay,
right now.
Would you get that number for me, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So we have 2 teachers there now, right? Oh, a teacher and a counselor.
We have 2 teachers and we have, I'm not sure she's called a counselor, maybe she's called a case manager.
Okay, I'll buy that. Now, on the teachers, because you're asking for some
Tutors.
some subs here for math and ELA.
Yes, sir.
So the teachers that we have there right now, are they not doing the same thing?
During the daytime, they are supporting the kids.
Okay. So what's considered daytime?
I think their schedule's like maybe 8 to 3:30 or something like that.
Okay, that's close enough. And so when would the subs come in?
They would come in around 4:30.
Uh-huh.
I think they have dinner somewhere along that time, so maybe 4:35 is when the tutors would come in.
So 30 minutes worth? Did you say 4:30 to 5?
4:30 or 5.
Oh, or 5, I'm sorry. And how long does that last?
They would be there for an hour.
So 6 o'clock at the latest.
Yes, sir.
And they would be teaching what the teacher was there for 7 hours, they teaching the same thing.
They will be providing additional support similar to what we're doing at the schools with our extended learning and after-school learning. We will just be making sure that the kids that are housed there are getting that same opportunity to get that additional support on the afternoon side.
So if you just had 3 students there, then those 3 students would get the same 5 days. They're there 5 days. Would they come to sub? No, I shouldn't use the word sub, but those that you're asking for, they'll come 5 days a week,
No,
correct?
they will come one day.
Just 1 day out of the week?
Just 1 day out of the week.
Okay. But the students that are getting it in the school are getting it more than 1 day, right?
They're coming 3 days a week. at the
Okay.
school.
Okay. Okay, I was just curious on that because it just, I wanted to make sure that I got a clear understanding as to how that transpired. Okay, that's all, that's the only question I have.
I got one question. Well, go ahead, Coach.
Why the difference?
Part of the reason why it's different is because 2 of the days during the week, JDC already has other things that are going on. And so we didn't want to interfere with the programs and things that they already had going on. So that only really left us with Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
And the
So
number,
we can definitely add more days. That's
well, but your number fluctuates too, where these remain constant.
Right. And
Because
then-
they could be getting out, it could be a rollover.
Yes.
So I understand why you're doing that.
But if the need arises and we need more time down there, we can definitely, do that if they need that more.
If I'm at school and I'm getting 3, and I'm down at the detention center and I'm getting 1, then it seems like I'm being handicapped. I'm not getting all that we should give. In other words, we differentiate against what this kid is getting and what this kid is getting. That's what I'm just saying. I don't see why.
Yeah, I understand, but the only thing about it is they have a set amount of students. These kids roll in and roll out. They may be there Monday and Tuesday, but they're gone back to either their home school or somewhere else. So it's not going to be a definitive number where you do have a definitive number at all the other schools.
So is it any way from a week to week you can know how many days that person had?
We can find out how long a student is assigned to the detention center.
Yes.
And if we need to bring the tutors in more frequently
Right.
during the week, we can definitely do that. So I can get with the supervisor down there to make sure that we're not leaving any gaps.
So do you want it to be up to 3 hours per week? Or, because the way it's stated here, staff will work 1 hour per week at that rate. Do you want to change that to up to 3?
Why don't we
or
monitor?
Just leave it.
Why don't we just monitor what we have?
Yeah, just leave it where it is and just monitor.
Well, all I'm saying, though, is that, if it's brought up and it looks like we are doing more favoritism to one group than we're doing another group, and that we should be able to do the same across, and if we don't need it, we don't need it. But if we need it, we need to have in place something that can interject, that we can do that for those.
How many days of the week did they already have something scheduled, Katrina?
2.
So you already have 2 additional days, so this would make,
So
this would take away any,
we're actually adding to the,
so it'd be 5 days a week they would get an intervention versus the 3 days. Because the 1 day that we're providing would make it 3 days for the kids at the JDC, which would be equal to what we're doing at the school building. Is that what I heard you say?
Well, one of the days is visitation day, so we definitely want to interrupt that. I'm not exactly sure what they have going on Mondays, but she told me that we couldn't do Mondays as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, they're supposed to start next week, so we can kind of give it a little time to see what happens. And then if we need to come back and make adjustments, then we can come back at the March board meeting and make those adjustments.
So would you come back to the March board meeting and just give us an update, please?
Yes, sir, I will.
Thank you.
Can we amend this? Can we amend this to give Chad the responsibility or to add hours if we need to? If that way we don't have to approve
I
it.
mean, there are 2 days a week you can't add hours.
Right.
Yeah, that's true, but.
I mean, one day is
Just put it
probably
to
their
his- if
court
we
day
put
or
it to
the day
his
that they
discretion.
meet with their
Right.
attorneys or whatever, so.
But we only got half
So, yeah,
one day.
Yeah. And one other question, we'll get off this. You mentioned that other communities are using our, can you briefly explain that to,
Because you get, Port Gibson comes up here.
Yeah.
Louisiana.
So some of the districts in the state of Mississippi get the privilege to support other districts' students who are in this particular situation. And we are one of those districts. So it's not just Warren County students, we get them from multiple districts. And because of that, we also have to provide them everything that we provide our students. And there's been some debate over the reimbursement from the requirements within that. I kind of talked through that with the judge, and I'm not sure where all that's going to land, but I do know that, you know, and you have to provide particular services within a time frame. So if you had a kid who happened to be arriving at Friday night at 4 o'clock on a holiday weekend, you have to have things in place by Monday if they are trying not to say too much and say too little at the same time. But there's requirements that have to be in place within that 48-hour period, and
Make sure they have that education.
but it's a burden on us.
oh, absolutely. I mean,
But
it's not a burden to
in the
provide
same
them
light,
too,
I'm
but-
proud that we're doing it.
But I will say this, it's not a burden that every community shares for their students,
Right.
put it to you that way. So regardless, I mean, if we had an event that occurred in another community that we serve, that 25 kids happen to be in need of the services of the detention center, we would have to take that on us. And regardless if there's one there or 3 there for 2 days, we have to be prepared to support maximum allowable for extended.
Well, like I said, it's a burden, but I'm proud we're doing it.
Oh, absolutely. We have a fantastic group. They do a great job. So,
Okay, thank you. So, I'm through. Anybody else has any more questions? Is there a motion?
Is that 9, I-9?
I-9?
Make a motion, we accept I-9.
There's a motion, is there a second?
A second.
It's been moved and properly second that we approve I-9. Are there any other questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? Motion is approved. I-10, Ms. Hill, I guess, I'm not picking on you, I promise.
yes, he is.
Only thing I need to know, and this was really simple, though everything else has been too. You stipulate here that the language that this proposal is for is Arabic, Spanish, and English. Can this software also, or does this software have other languages just in case we need it?
I don't believe so.
Ouch.
So that's why we went with the ones that, according to our EL population, is predominantly Spanish.
Are the languages we
and
need, right.
Arabic speaking. Those are our most predominant languages.
Eric, being the
Okay.
largest.
We'll be
And we
rushing
can't,
tomorrow.
we have to provide some assistance.
Okay, okay, that's all, that's the only questions I have. Any other questions?
Make a motion, we accept I-10.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. J1. On J1, I was looking for an estimate cost for the bus, because on the norm, when a bus is going out of, and correct me, Mr. Bass is not here, I forgot the other lady's name that's taken over, but anyway, correct me, Ms. Taylor, okay, thank you, Mr. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone please, but normally we get an estimate that is included in our packet here, which is the estimated cost for the driver, the estimated cost for the fuel, the time they leave, the time they return, the depreciation. There is nothing here, and we got to find out who's going to pay it. There's nothing here. So how can you approve something unless you give them just a blank sheet of paper to say, you can go, and we just pay whatever you tell
I thought we went
us?
through this with these, and they have a set form they're supposed to use. So
But
that we
it's
don't
nothing
have-
here.
I know.
Yes, you thought.
And unless I just didn't get the package.
No, it's not in here.
Kim's on? Ms. Taylor? I see you, but I can't.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Do we know did you receive a transportation authorization form for this particular trip? This is
For
the
what
juniors-
trip?
The juniors and seniors from River City Early College are questioning to travel to West Monroe. Not West Monroe,
University.
Monroe.
ULM.
ULM.
On April the 8th.
No, sir, at this time, I was unaware of the April the 8th trip to West Monroe, so a quote has not been given, but I can most definitely get you all one as soon as possible.
Okay.
So they're asking permission from us, and they haven't gone to the transportation first, so they hadn't followed the guidelines that it was supposed to be.
Correct.
I'll make a motion that we table J1.
But the trip is in
April
April.
8th.
What
You'll
was
have
the
a board
deal?
meeting before.
Well, plenty of
Board
time.
meeting before then.
I make a motion that we table.
Oh, yeah.
J1.
Okay, it's been moved and probably second that we table
Good catch.
J1.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. We are, now we're down to
L.
K.
L.
L? Okay, thank you. L1. The only thing on L1, and everyone up here read L1. The only thing I need to put in there, under candidacy for political office, we used he, but it should be he/c, she.
She, her, he or her.
Yes, because what we're saying is, I can't do it, but you can do it. And we all read it, and they just asked me to perform the duties. So with that correction, that's all I have, unless someone else has some corrections on it. And it's under candidacy, I can't even say it, candidacy for political office. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the district policies DL1.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second with the correction, sir?
Yes, with the correction.
With the corrections, thank you. It's been moved and properly second that we accept L1 with the correction. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. L2 is for information only. Is there a motion? Unless you have questions, I'm sorry. Do you have any questions on Homeland Security?
And probably if we discuss any of this, we have to go into executive session.
On Homeland?
I don't think there's any action required on this, is there, Mr. Superintendent?
No,
Looks like
but if
it's
anyone has any
information.
questions, we might not need to ask them openly.
Okay. So it's just for information only. That's all we have here. Is there a motion for approval for information only?
We don't do any approval, we don't do
You
anything.
don't have to? Okay, you say so. Section, 16th section.
Unless you don't have questions in terms of the lease.
Nobody's late?
I think we do have one.
Three of them. Yeah, we have three.
She's working on those letters, working on getting those letters out to those individuals.
Yeah, three of them, 30 days late.
Yes.
Okay. So letters will be sent out?
Yes.
Thank you. I have an M1. I mean, an M2. Oh,
You do, timber
for the
sale.
bid. Yeah, okay. I just have one question on M2. I see it says 5%. Is that the law, or is just a recommendation from the Forestry Commission?
I think it is a recommendation.
Recommendation? Okay.
On the spot, Mr. Turner, do you know?
We're looking at it right now. They're required to post a bond, I know that. I don't remember the percentage amount, but they are required.
Golly, what good are you, Briggs?
I got some books right here.
That's okay.
If you wanna hang out, he'll read it to you.
This is what kind of attorney I am.
But he's gonna charge you, but he's gonna charge you for it.
Right, said the magic word.
Touche.
Okay, that's the only question I had. I was just curious about the 5%.
Can I ask a question about the sale?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear cutting again? Hopefully not.
Are we
Say that
what?
again?
I'm trying to see what what we're actually doing here. Are we clear cutting? Are we selective cutting? It doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
I'm not a fan of clear cutting. I don't care what the forester
The
says.
issue you've got is when the forester recommends it, they've reviewed what needs to be done on the land, and to be a good steward of the lands, unless you've got some significant reason to not follow the forester, then you're gonna have to present it. I don't know what, I don't think it's in there, but,
I read that somewhere too, Mr. Attorney.
I do know that, without looking at the book.
There we go. All right, so we're needing us to approve it, or are you still?
No, I'm just looking at the bond amount. If it's different, we'll come back to it, but I think that's probably right. The forester's supposed to, this is their job, so, not saying they always get it right, but, they're supposed to tell us.
Can we just request in the future that they indicate what type of sale this is?
Sure.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't seen a clear cut yet that I think was justified, but that's just me. That land will not be usable for 100 to 100 and some years.
Wow.
It takes 70 years to grow an oak tree. All our hardwood is oak. I mean, oak and those other, and walnut, those other things. It takes 70 years for a tree to mature. So our children's children may not reap a benefit off that land if we clear.
According to this, it looks like.
Now, if it's pine.
It's pine, this is pine, pulpwood, pine, chip and saw, pine, saw timber.
Hardwood.
Yeah, it's mostly hardwoods.
See hardwood,
Hardwood,
red oak.
Red oak and white oak.
Yep. And normally you do a select cut 16, or 12 inches, 16, whatever, above, and then you still have trees that are producing acorns, and those trees can be harvested in 10, 20 years. Then hopefully there's another crop coming up, and you're just constantly replenishing. Whereas you clear cut, you're gonna wait 70 years.
Casey's not online.
You've got to, if you disagree.
I disagree. I've seen every one of them
You've got
done.
to appeal to the Forestry Commission at their meeting.
Yeah, well, we might start doing that.
And if you don't agree with that, you got to appeal to the Secretary of State.
Well, we might start doing it, because I don't agree with clear cutting.
I don't think that they clear cut 16 section. I don't think that they.
Oh, we have.
Really?
While I've been on this board, we have clear cut 16 section land off Flowers Hill Road.
All right, so what are we voting to do right
Yeah,
now?
I think we're waiting on Briggs.
Only thing I'm checking on is the bond amount, to see if I can find that real quickly, but that's your alternative. If you don't agree, you've actually got to.
Believe it or not, I got the guy's cell phone number.
Well, I don't know we don't know what we're doing here. It just says an amount. So I don't know if we're clear cutting, select cutting.
Sorry, guys.
Just want to know if it's a clear cut. Give us just a minute for those that are out on the web, and we appreciate you sticking with us and looking at us every month and talking to us in the grocery store. We appreciate it very much. Just waiting here. It'll be just a few minutes. Mr. Slayton, you have anything you need to say?
I'm asking Google how many tons are in a tree.
Coach, do you have anything you need to say? Ms. Bullock?
I think you're marvelous in that.
Thank you, Ms. Bullock. How much do I owe you? Mr. Pratt, do you have anything?
Nope. If we've got, if there's nothing else, Mr. President, let's see, can we, while I'm looking at this, if that's the question, and we got to determine whether you want to appeal this to the State Forestry Commission.
Well, I think maybe the point is that they ought to give us a little more description of what they're doing. This is not, I understand that if that's the process, but they need to tell us why we're doing it. If it's pine trees, it makes sense. Pine trees will grow back in 10 or 15 years, but if it's not, there has to be a reason why.
1665.
I sent him a text, but can you make the you can do anything you want to, but can we make a recommendation to approve it?
Does this have to be approved now? Is there a time limit on it? I mean,
Yeah, somebody's given us a bid. Somebody's given us a bid, and the Forestry Commission has accepted the bid. And
They recommend acceptance. They had, y'all got to accept it.
yeah, we can reject it, but it's a pretty good.
If we reject it, we have to go to the Forestry Commission in person.
Yeah, at their meeting.
So can we approve it pending it not being clear cut?
Just, let's do this, while we're killing time, we can bring this back out. Let's go, we got several, or a few items to take care of in executive session.
Okay,
I didn't know we had to
just
go
table it,
into
break it, okay, and he may respond by that time.
Are you texting Joel or who are you texting?
Casey.
No, the timber.
Okay, would somebody please table this and we can come
make
back
a motion
out?
that we table M2.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any other questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
Make a motion, we go into closed session to determine the agenda for executive session.
Second the
It's moved and properly second. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved. Thank you all.
The
Thank you.
dishwasher broke in the restaurant today. It's
Oh,
really
no.
You get sore arms then, don't you?
loud. We were like swimming.